wanted it, y'all asked for it, and I'm here to deliver. LeBron James versus Magic Johnson. Two of the most versatile players of all time, two of the best to ever do it, and we gonna end this year out with a bang. And I know I made a video on my feelings about top 10 lists in general, but come on, let's be real. It's just fun. But before we get started with the video, let's go ahead and shout out SeatGeek for one last time. SeatGeek is an app that gets all the prices from all over the web, so you can find the best deals for whatever event you want to go to. The best deals are marked with green and the bad ones are marked with red, and you can even see what your seat looks like before you go. And you can use code BSouls for $20 off your first purchase. I used it to go to the Pistons versus Celtics game a couple weeks ago, and the process was very easy, so I highly recommend the app. So check the description to download SeatGeek and learn more. But we haven't done one of these in a while, so just to refresh everyone's mind, we put the best against the best in this series, and we use a scoring system to determine the winner. And yes, Legend of Winning did inspire this whole series from the beginning with his MJ versus LeBron video like a year ago. I'ma leave that in the description, so shots to low. But going back to the video, we got 9 categories for this battleground video, and we'll give each player a score out of 10. And like I've said in the past, please do not cross compare battleground videos because the scoring system does change a lot, and I'm still trying to figure out the most objective way to score these videos. But with that being said, let's go ahead and kick it off and start with scoring. LeBron 10, Magic 8. So pretty self-explanatory here on LeBron's side. He may not have all the moves like a Kobe or a Jordan or even a Melo, but in terms of putting the ball in the basket, LeBron is of the highest caliber. He's averaged 27 points his whole career, and I think the craziest thing about LeBron's averages is that he's averaged these numbers for like 14 straight years. And even after all these changes, he's still putting up 25 to 27 a night on a consistent, highly efficient basis. And in the playoffs, he ups it up to 28 a game on still insane efficiency. But for the most part, I think giving LeBron a 10 in scoring is pretty self-explanatory. In terms of Magic, he was never known for his scoring because of his amazing passing ability that overshadowed his scoring, but he still averaged 20 points a game his career. If you attach 20 points a game to a guy like Steve Nash or Rajon Rondo, you would give him an 8 too. But although Magic averaged 20 a game for his career, he's had years averaging 24 points a game like 1987. He's averaged 26 in the finals that same year and 25 points a game in the playoffs in 1990. So I think Magic definitely had the capability of being a better scorer than he was number-wise, but we're gonna settle with an 8 for now because of the lack of sample size and the ability to create a shot. Passing, LeBron 8.5, Magic 10. Alright, it's Magic motherfucking Johnson. Come on now. The greatest passer of all time, orchestrator of the infamous Showtime Lakers, 4-time assist champion, averaged 11 assists in his career, had 8 consecutive years of essentially averaging 12 plus assists, had 2 years in the playoffs averaging 15 damn assists. Come on now. Magic Johnson is a 10 in passing. As far as LeBron, like I said about Magic's scoring ability, the lack of sample size and numbers to back up LeBron's passing is just too much to give him a 10. But we all know LeBron's passing ability is elite and a half. So far in the 2018 season, he's averaging 9 assists. He's had multiple playoff runs averaging 8 plus assists. And if he really wanted to cut down on the scoring and focus more on his assists and his passing, let's be real, he could really average 10 plus assists for multiple seasons. But like I said, with Magic and his scoring, I can't give him a full 10 for a couple of seasons here and there. And you know, but we all know LeBron has elite passing ability, just not enough for me to give him a 10. Rebounding, LeBron 8, Magic 8. Now if we're basing this off of position, Magic's like a 10 and LeBron's probably like a 9. But in terms of overall rebounding ability throughout all 5 positions, I do think they're pretty equal. Magic literally averages 0.1 rebounds more than LeBron. LeBron averages 1.2 more rebounds in the playoffs than Magic, but Magic's had years averaging 10 to 13 rebounds a game. The gap just simply isn't big enough to even talk about. But just know that they're both terrific rebounders for their position, and their ability to rebound is why people consider both of these guys as two, if not the most versatile players of all time. Defense: LeBron 8, Magic 7. LeBron James only had 6 all-defensive teams under his name, but I think he's been a way better defender throughout his career than people give him credit for. The past couple of years, there is one aspect of his game that has taken the biggest dip, and it has been his defense. Although he's not a defensive liability by any means. But in his prime, he was probably a top 5 defender in the league, could legitimately guard all 5 positions at that time. Because of his size, his help defense is probably his best defensive ability. Magic, on the other hand, was basically LeBron on the defensive end without the lockdown ability that LeBron had in like 2011 and 2012. He did have the ability to guard power forwards, small forwards, tall guards, but wasn't known as a lockdown defender, and he had trouble keeping up with fast, shifty guards. But his help defense, while it wasn't like LeBron's shot blocking ability, his ability to read passing lanes and grab steals was elite. He averaged 2 steals in his career, had years averaging 2.5 to 3 steals a game in both regular season and in the playoffs. But because of his lack of reliable one-on-one defense, I'ma have to give the slight edge to LeBron on defense. Leadership: LeBron 10, Magic 10. I don't think you can ask for better leaders in NBA history. These guys can carry your team, play with anyone, never really had major chemistry issues, except for Bron screaming at Rio. Shouts to Rio. And while Kyrie left LeBron, I really don't think it had anything to do with LeBron as a basketball player and as a leader. He just wanted to be in the best situation instead of potentially being stuck on a LeBron-less Cavs. But LeBron as a leader has been basically flawless. Magic, on the other hand, look, rookie year, the greatest center of all time is out for the elimination game. You're a point guard. They put you at center to fill in for Kareem, and you drop 42 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals against Dr. J's 76ers. Add 8 more finals appearances, 5 rings, and being the face of the NBA during that time span. Magic Johnson is a 10 in leadership. Come on now. Value: LeBron 10, Magic 10. If we're talking about value to the league, these two might be the most valuable in the modern era, with Magic being the face of the league and saving it from the dark 70s, and LeBron James living up to all his hype and giving the NBA something to talk about on a year-to-year basis. You can't get any better. In terms of value to their team, we know what LeBron is. What his teams are without him, y'all know the story. How Cleveland was after he left, how Miami was after he left, how his team plays when he's not on the court. His value can be seen on the team's record and on a minute-by-minute basis. It's kind of ridiculous. Now with Magic, the Lakers went from being the 5th seed in the West to winning 13 more games his rookie year and winning the championship that same year. They go to the finals 9 times, win 5. Then the season after he left because of his HIV situation, they lose 15 more games. Once again, they are both 10s in value. Competition: LeBron 8.5, Magic 8. People talk about LeBron's competition being weak as far as his conference, and if you don't have a problem with Magic's competition, you really shouldn't have a problem with LeBron's. If anything, you could really say Magic had less competition, or at the very least, the same competition as LeBron's competition, who has gotten this reputation as being weak because of the last 3 to 4 years. And I'm not saying there's no merit to it, but Magic's competition was very similar as well. That's my biggest point. In Magic's first 10 years in the league, in those 10 years, there were a total of 11 55-plus win teams in the whole decade in the Western Conference. And there was a 4-year stretch in the 80s where there were 0 55-plus win teams, in which the Lakers went to the finals in 3 of those 4 years. Meanwhile, in LeBron's first 10 years, there were a similar 12 teams in the East that won 55-plus games, and 15 total in his career. In the finals, we know what LeBron's faced: the almighty Warriors 3 times, the Spurs 3 times, the Mavs, and the Thunder with Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Kevin Durant. Although they were young, they were still elite talents of the NBA. Almost all of the teams LeBron's had to face in the finals have been all-time great teams. Magic, on the other hand, faced Dr. J 76ers, Larry Bird Celtics, the Bad Boy Pistons, and MJ's Bulls. Again, like LeBron, all-time great teams, and pretty close. But I'm gonna give the slight edge to LeBron because I do think LeBron's conference was slightly stronger than Magic's conference, and you can argue that his finals competition overall was still stronger than Magic's. So it's not that big of a gap, and that's why it's 8.5 to 8. Clutchness: LeBron 9, Magic 9. Again, another category where LeBron and Magic are too close to give the edge to one another. There weren't clutch stats back then, but in terms of performing in big time moments, we've talked about his rookie year. He's had the baby hook over Boston, coming back from 16 in the finals. He's appeared in some of the biggest moments in NBA history and performed at a high level. With LeBron, we know what he does in Game 7s. We know what he did in 2016. We know what he did in 2013, Game 6 and Game 7. We know what he did in 2015 without Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. They're two of the clutchest players of all time. Obviously, they're not perfect in any way. Magic has dribbled out the clock in the finals before. We know what LeBron did in 2011. But if we look at their careers as a whole and their ability to perform in big time moments, these two are some of the clutchest players of all time. Accolades: LeBron 10, Magic 10. Can we just skip this, please? 3 rings, 3 finals MVPs, 4 MVPs for LeBron, 5 rings, 3 finals MVPs, 3 MVPs for Magic. That's kind of all we need to know. They're a damn 10 in accolades, come on. Alright, but that's gonna conclude all the categories for this Battleground video. It's time to add up all the categories. But before we go on, again, I just want to emphasize, my scoring isn't perfect. There's probably holes to my reasoning, but I just want to, if anything, just highlight both of these players and how good they really were as basketball players, because they're as good as it gets. So go ahead and leave your own scorecard in the comment section down below. And also, I know that, let's say, value and rebounding as categories should not be worth the same. So if y'all can come up with a way or some type of format to differentiate the two in a more proportionate way, please let me know about it in the comment section as well. But here we go. For this Battleground video, after adding everything up, we got Magic Johnson with a grand total of 80 points and LeBron James with a grand total of 82 points, coming away as the winner of this Battlegrounds video. If I were to sum up everything real quick on how this came to be, I think in almost every category, they were really close, if not tied, right? Accolades, value, leadership, they were tied. Rebounding, they were tied. For a lot of categories, they were tied. And passing and scoring was kind of a net zero. And because of that, it kind of came down to competition and defense. And that's what gave LeBron the edge in this battle. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope y'all had a great 2017. I'm gonna take a week off just to clear my mind, but I'm gonna be back on the grind on the week of January 8th. And I hope y'all have a great New Year's tomorrow, but I am out. Peace.